What's going on, everybody? About a month and a half ago, I put out a video where I asked you to sound design this clip. And with this being a new channel, it did take a little bit of time to get some entries in, but they're in, and we're going to be taking a look at them. We'll be taking a look at each of those videos and talking a little bit about them, but make sure you watch all the way to the end of the video, because we'll also be announcing the next challenge. So this first video comes to us from Matthew Noble. And while I'm not entirely sure what's happening with that profile picture, the sound design was definitely really good. So one of the things that I loved about this video is as the video starts, you actually hear the rocket almost powering up, which isn't something that I thought of, even my own take of the video. And that really helped the build up for when that rocket took off. Something that I would have liked to have heard a little bit more of is more of the impact and the explosion. There was an interesting sci-fi element that it sounded like to that explosion. So definitely overall, great work. This next video comes from somebody whose name I'm very much going to butcher, and I apologize. Conroe Lahay? We're going to go with it. That's what we're going with. So this video was really awesome. He actually went into depth in how he made the sounds, and I'm pretty sure he might have burnt down his house in the process, but let's take a look. I just can't get over how much real fire was used in this video. And look how happy he is. He's so happy to be playing with fire. For this video, I really enjoyed the explosion sound, whereas the last video I thought kind of fell a little short. This one definitely had a bigger explosion. However, with all the fire that was actually used, I'd have liked to have heard just a little bit more of the flame as the rocket was flying past. But nonetheless, great job. Last, and most certainly not least, we have a video from Claudio Francie. This, out of the ones that were sent to me, was by far my favorite. So let's take a look at that clip now.
As you could hear, there are three parts to this clip. The ambience, which is not really part of the challenge, the rocket flight, and the explosion. For the rocket flight sounds, I recorded myself blowing in the capsule of my microphone. Here's how it sounds. I also recorded some fire and a couple lighter sounds to get the ignition part of the rocket. The explosion is made up of three layers: the transient layer, the body layer, and the tail layer. For the transient, I used a recording of my keys, which after some processing, like distortion and reverb, sounds like this. For the body layer, I used a footstep sound I had recorded some time ago. Same deal: distortion, reverb, multiband compression. For the tail layer, I hit the capsule of my microphone, which sounds like this. And after processing, it sounds like this.
There's just so much that I love about this clip. From start to finish, there's just a ton of dynamic range here. One of the parts that I really loved about your creative process was that you went into just using simply blowing into your microphone. Not to mention how big of a sound you got simply by tapping your microphone. Which goes to show that you don't need a bunch of fancy Foley props and things to be able to get good sound design. It's all about how you work with it. Overall, this was beautifully created. Great job. So at the beginning of this video, I told you that we'd be announcing the second challenge. So for this challenge, I took roughly a 30-second fight scene clip from Centel, an open source movie from the Blender Foundation. And your challenge is to sound design it. Now with the first video, the challenge was that you could only use sounds recorded around your house. So for this challenge, I wanted to do something a little bit different. Now when I started this channel several months ago, the goal I had in mind was to try and bring more of the sound design community together. So for this challenge, you can only use sounds found over on the sound effects channel. Now, he has no idea that I'm using his channel for this challenge. So when you go over there and pull sounds from his video, make sure you subscribe to him and leave some love in his comment section. I know he's got a little over 100 videos packed full of sound effects resources, so there should definitely be enough to get you through this challenge. You can process these sounds, manipulate them however you see fit, but you're only allowed to use those sounds. Now in my last challenge, I made the mistake of not implementing a deadline. So for this one, I'd like to have all the entries in by Friday, December 27th. To submit your entry, make sure you upload it to YouTube, make sure that it's public so I can see it, and put hashtag the sound effects guy in the title. That's what I'll be using to search for the videos. So thank you guys so much for tuning in this week. I'm really looking forward to hear what you guys create for this next challenge. If there's anything that you'd like to see on my channel, feel free to drop those in the comments section below, or you can get a hold of me on any one of these social media channels. Until next time.